In this episode, we grab another Fistful of Joes and take a look at what's inside the long box in another All Joe edition of It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. Hello and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. And like I said, this is another All Joe exclusive episode. Well, not exclusive. I don't have anything exclusive. But anyway, it's All Joe all the time in this episode. And this is the second for this week to commemorate my awesome birthday and being invited to be part of Cobra Convergence 3, which is a huge honor. Anyway, before I kick things off, I just want to point out my G.I. Joe shirt here. By the way, it's the classic style of them behind the mountain when this toy wave came out. And a little bit different because they threw in rock and roll and Stalker and Zap on here. Or is that? I think that's Zap. Anyway, I gotta move my beard just to see it in my triple chins. But anyway, this shirt here is very special to me. My wife gave me this shirt on the day that I proposed to her. And I wish I could say she gave me the shirt and I dropped down to one knee and said, "Marry me because you know I love G.I. Joe." No. It happened to be Christmas, and I had it planned that I was going to propose. But this just happened to be a nice bonus to a very special day. And what's awesome is all of our little engagement photos from that day, I'm sporting this shirt. So it's going to be etched in all of our family members' minds for the rest of their life. Anyway, let's kick things off with a Fistful of Joes. Yo, Joe! I'm going to dive right back into the same box that I was digging from last episode, so let's see who we get. And like I said then, this is a mixture of 25th anniversary and OGs, and I'm starting to come to grips that the 25th anniversary are starting to be retro. What are they, over 10 years old now? So I'll start counting them as real Joe figures, I guess. And, oh, I glanced. So let me mix it up here and see who I randomly pull from the box. Oh, this feels like a lot. Okay, let's see who we get. First off is a 25th anniversary figure of a character that's very special to me. Airborne. Now, the 25th anniversary really amped up the awesomeness. From what was just molded plastic is now, I don't think it's, no, you can't take it off, but it's layered. We have a layered vest. We have these awesome I don't know what you call them, but straps for parachutes when you jump out of planes. He has a pistol that goes into his holster here. A very cool backpack. Let's put that on him. One thing is, they really changed the posts on these. I wish they were the original size. That would add to some cool customization of using some of the old gear with the new figures. And something that doesn't really make me happy. He originally came with just an M16 with a bayonet, but they kind of upped it with the extra grip here. But still pretty cool. And of course comes with a base, so I don't need to show you that. But here's Airborne. And whenever I pull the original figure out of the collection, I'll tell you the story of why he's important to me. But like the original, he's got a removable helmet, and I think we have more of like his file card used to say, his Native American heritage look to him than the original figure. And wasn't he awesome in the cartoon with his ESP and stuff? Yeah, we got all the stuff back in here. That I thought was awesome, and his brother shared it too. But into the pile with ye. Oh man, another special figure. Back in the day, you wanted to get figures with the most gear. And Blowtorch here, that fit the bill. Now, this is one that I picked up at a convention, I think the Baltimore Comic Con, and the price was right. He's a little loosey-goosey. Dancing Queen. But, a little rusted up, too, I see. Nope, dropping my Joes. But, got his helmet. Get a little bit closer there for you. His awesome mask and respirator that I won't tighten up because I don't want it to break. Because I think mine originally busted, and you just kind of hold it on there and be sad about it when you want to play. But it plugs into his little chest thing here, and he has his blowtorch. This, like I said, back in the day, you hunted down the ones that came with the most gear because you felt like you were getting your money's worth. Well, it wasn't your money, your parents' money's worth, but it was just awesome to have a guy draped in helmet, backpack, blowtorch, face mask. One of my favorites. And I keep them in it. Oh, his blowtorch is peeking out here. Get back in there. Oh, shoot. But I keep them in this cool container that I bought them in because that's pretty neat. If I could, I would buy 1,000,000 of these and hang up all my Joes around the room. But, I ain't got that kind of budget, as you can tell from this slapdash show. Anyway, getting back to last episode and my unfortunate realization that Zartan's swamp skier was busted, here's the man himself, Zartan. Very happy that I found this one. He still has his color changing stickers under his pads there. He still changes color in the sun last I checked. Got his gun, and take this off, his awesome backpack and mask. And like I showed with the Fun School version that had a very rigid mask, this one is much more pliable. As you can see how easily the mask goes on. Now he's a whole nother guy. You wouldn't know that Zartan walking down the street. Oh, yeah, it is. So silly, because everyone dresses like this. Oh, you would have really fooled Joe back in the day. But, as I said, the handle for the box that the swamp skier comes with is in with him. So he can, I guess, take it out on land and walk around with it, or drag it. I mean, that thing's got to weigh a couple 100 pounds. That ain't easy. But it's like, oh, I got to get a hamburger and get out of the swamp, so let me bust this down, put it in a box, and drag it with me a couple miles to the Burger King. Anyway, pick up all the ones that fell here. Here's another 25th anniversary of yet another one of my favorite characters of all time, Wild Bill. Awesome because he has his vest is not molded on anymore. His hat. And his Colt 6 shooters that were always molded on the figure, and you wished you could pull them out. You wish you could pull them out of the original figure because they look so cool with their pearl handles. Now you can. And, whoa, don't want to lose his hat. What's cool is his flight suit is very reminiscent of like Vietnam era, where it's very baggy around the arms and legs to fit the air cavalry character. But there he is without his hat. Here he is with his hat. Well, got kind of cocked there, like he's got some swagger. But one of my favorites, I love the Hornet, and Wild Bill was awesome. And yet again, that was one of those toys that just surprised me when Santa had it under the tree. I never knew anything like that existed, and how awesome it was with the little thumb thing to get the propellers to spin, and how cool they were with their little red rubberized tips. I mean, awesome. I wish I still had the Hornet. This dude is an OG, and I'm not 100% sure here, but I think this has had a little bit of a customization paint job to his shirt. I could be wrong, but I don't remember it having such dark highlights. But, and I'm, excuse me, itching. Could be completely 100% wrong even on the name. I don't think I am, but Astro Viper. And he had this awesome Space Force type of backpack that he could go through space and fight Joe. And the big Defiant space shuttle. But like I said, I think it's customized with the paint job a little bit, because the dark highlights on his outfit are really standing out, and they never really did that. You know, what creases were molded into the shirts and pants and stuff were just that, they were molded in. But it looks like somebody did a dry brush on him to bring out those creases and stuff. Now let's take off his helmet here. You can see it's pretty typical Cobra face. He has a walkie-talkie thing going on here, and you can see a respirator going across his nose to help him breathe. But awesome. I never had him originally. I picked him up definitely secondary market at a local toy store. But like I said, they have people just sell their collection, so they have ones that they tinkered with, and they actually sell them for a lower price because they're not mint. But I think they're awesome. If you remember the Darklon that I showed a few episodes ago. Now, this dude I picked up in an antique store, super cheap. And one of the things about this character is the chest emblem is so easily taken off because of the silver paint. I don't want to speak out of school, but I think it might be the Hiss driver? Oh, it's an 82-83 swivel arm. So it's one of the, it's an OG, super OG. Little loosey-goosey in the waist. Hubba hubba burning love. But, awesome condition. I mean, look at that chest emblem. Little, tiny little bit of wear and tear, but I've seen them a heck of a lot worse. But super happy. And they had this figure in a glass case. I forget, but it was super cheap, and I just about had a heart attack because I needed to have it right then and there. But, oh, I'm putting them back in the box. That's a no-no. Don't want to pull them out again. Anyway, that has been another segment of Fistful of Joes. I hope you enjoyed it. And now let's dive into what's in the long box.
What's in the box? What's in the
Long
box?
One of the most beautiful things about G.I. Joe was its triple attack that it did on us. We had the toys, the cartoon, and the comic book. All three of these things were a different animal, with a different storyline, different backgrounds, characters portrayed in different ways. Now the toys, I'm talking about their file cards, which were written by Larry Hama, that transitioned more into the comic, but less into the cartoon. Now, I have almost a complete run, not a full one. I was hardcore collecting them, and I kind of gave it up to focus on the toys and kind of didn't get back to the comics. But I hope to remedy that one day when my kids are a little bit older and got some extra moolah. Or they get jobs and I charge them rent or something, and then I can spend it all on toys and comics. But anyway, so like I've done before with what's in the long box, I'm just going to grab a handful randomly and I'm going to flip through them and we're going to talk about them. So here we go. So let's go a little bit closer to the beginning of the long box here. Not that many. We ain't got that much time. So what do we have here? Oh, this cover might look familiar if you've seen Sentimental, because I actually used it in the intro. But it's issue 27. Beautiful cover. So much is going on. We got Wild Bill and Scarlet up here. And we got Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow fighting here. And this, of course, comes a little bit after the whole reveal of the Ninja Clan and the tattoos. And oh, look at that first thing. Awesomeness. A Last Starfighter ad. Look at that. That's tight. Coming this summer to select theaters. Oh, hell yeah. This has a date of September 1984. So that means this probably came out in August. But look at this first thing. These chumps shooting a junkyard. That ain't cool. Stan Lee presents Snake Eyes, The Origin, Part 2. Now, they covered his origin a few times. And I would love to go over every little panel of this with you guys. But here. This is one of the cool things I remember from my childhood loving. That Snake Eyes was hiding out in this cabin, and they would show him without his mask and his rubber mask. And this is the look that we ended up getting of him in Vietnam, with the slouchy hat, darkened out eyes. And here we have Stalker. I mean, lifetime friend. And Timber. Which made more sense. Got some background on Scarlet with Snake Eyes. Oh, here it is. How his face got scarred up originally in a helicopter crash. It's this panel right here with rock and roll. And let's read what it says. Rock and Roll told me later that he saw Snake Eyes carry me out of the wreckage with his head still in flames. He was standing there holding me safe, with his ruined mouth opening and closing in his ravaged face, and no sound was coming out. And he was saving saving Scarlet. And here he is back home, his face all bandaged up, with his tattoos showing. And then we get back to them hunting down Junkyard. Ah, the Soft Master. Here Storm Shadow attacks. Because they were trained by the Soft Master and the Hard Master. And look at this. With most Marvel things of the 80s and 70s, heck, and the 60s, New York is a central character. Oh, sorry about the lighting. Look at that running through the streets there. That's pretty awesome. But we got a lot of ground to cover, so unfortunately I can't focus on every little detail of this comic. Here's a fight scene between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. which harkens to the cover of them on a subway train. And Storm Shadow, very much like the toy, with his backpack with the bow and arrows. Awesome. Here we go, some dialogue between the two as Storm Shadow is wrestling Snake Eyes to the ground. A tunnel! You could have jumped clear at the last moment and let the tunnel kill me. You... We're even now. All debts are clear. Stand up, my brother. I have something to tell you. I didn't shoot my uncle. The arrow that killed him was mine, but it had been retrieved from the body of a squirrel I shot behind the wall that day at practice. See G.I. Joe number 26. Retrieved by a masked assassin who escaped in a Cobra helicopter. I spent years working my way up in Cobra, and one day I'll be important enough to they'll trust me with the identity of my uncle's killer. And that day I'll have my cold dish of vengeance. And after that day, perhaps you and I can be brothers. The brothers we always should have been. So that plays into a lot later with Storm Shadow not necessarily being the bad guy, that he has a reason for doing the stuff he's doing. Now, next issue, 28. Not as a dynamic cover, but pretty cool. It's kind of an unknown Cobra jet attacking the Mobat there with Steeler. And I loved how they did the G.I. Joe in different colors. Each issue had a different color that was eye-catching. So let's flip through this guy and see what's going on. And look, another great ad. Buckaroo Banzai. And here we start off with, after they're being chased through the swamp and shot at, Torpedo, Tripwire, and Mutton Junkyard are being picked up in the Gulf of Mexico, 10 miles off the southern coast of Florida. We got some dreadnought action going on as they're all on swamp skiers. Got Cottonmouth in the water moccasin. G.I. Joe, the Mobat busting out of a train car with kind of a Smokey and the Bandit police officers there. Kind of Jackie Gleason-like. Got Firefly, Destro, Cutter. And even before we had bats, we had these robotic Cobra troops, which are very stereotypical antenna on the head robots of the time. Let's see if they... In Zartan's lair. This is no game. Firefly says this. This is no game, although the control surfaces are laid out as simple as one. Zartan, this is Cobra Commander. Zartan did mention something about a secret robot project, something he was planning. Firefly. This is no plan. This is operational. According to these readouts, Zartan had a small robot army hidden under the waters of the swamp, and now they are mine to control. Cobra Commander pushes Firefly out of the way. No, not yours, Firefly. After all, I am Cobra Commander. And here the police get involved and start blasting at the robots. But this predates the bats by a few years, I believe. So that's pretty cool. Why didn't we get cool action figures about them? That would have been awesome. And like here, Cutter appears differently with with a navy hat on. Oh, I take it back. That's not Cutter. That's Deep Six. Wearing normal attire, not his huge honking underwater armor. Ooh, and he gets hit. So Duke says, "By the way, that was some fine shooting back there you did. Good, Roadblock." "I just stood there, Duke. He pulled the trigger," Roadblock says. "So Deep Six came through, in a pinch, huh? I always thought he was a cold fish." "He is, but he's got a few redeeming qualities," Cutter and some unknown Joe are saying. And then we go back to the swamp with Firefly smashing through the water. "Cobra Commander thinks he's seen the last of me. Huh. I'll show him a thing or two about explosives that curl his hood. Or maybe I'll strangle him a little first." And, "Angry, are you?" from off panel. Firefly turns. It's Destro. "Want to do something about it?" And then, at the bottom, "Where are we heading, Zartan?" "North. That's where the Joes come from, and we're going to find them." So next, issue 29. Got an awesome cover. I loved when they did these, because they're like multi-layer. We have Destro shooting, and then in the background it's Roadblock and Duke in a monochromatic red there. Excuse me. Original date of November 1984. And just another, got an Atari ad for Mario Brothers. Isn't that amazing when you think about it? When you look back, that Nintendo was making games for other companies. They didn't have their own system yet. But then when they did, history was changed forever. We start off, this issue is called, well, Stan Lee presents Beached Whale. We got the Joes at a really third world country looking fishing town on the Gulf Coast of Florida. And they're trying to repair the whale. Shows Roadblock being super strong, lifting the armored plating. They medevac out Deep Six because he was shot. Look at this big fanfare for Cobra. They even have a marching band. That's pretty cool. And we got one of the Freds here. So let's do Cobra Commander's speech here. And mind you, I could try to emulate his voice, but I'm going to save my throat a little bit. Let me take a drink. I'm going to read it normal. "Do not let the false rumors of our military mishaps alarm you. Cobra is winning." Damn, that sounds like Trump. Anyway, "When the citizenry loll back on their fat haunches and hire the poor minorities to do their dirty work, we win. When love of money eclipses moral conviction, we win. When good men see the ascension of evil and do nothing, we win. Damn, what year was this written? I thought it was 2018. Damn. Our household cleaning product pyramid scheme grows exponentially. It is a money-making juggernaut. It is based on man's willingness to exploit his neighbors. Our nationwide Greed is Good for You seminars are filled to capacity, and our media department has succeeded in selling 10 more mindless sitcoms to the networks to further lower the intelligence of America. Wow, that's cool. They're into TV shows. Armies of Cobra accountants advise millions of Americans to cheat on their taxes, denying funds to the government and prompting cuts in defense spending. Damn, dude. It is time for Cobra to make its next move. I present to you Cobra Elite Trooper, a Crimson Guard, one of Cobra's best, and too good to squander on the battlefield. He is young, intelligent, good-looking, and upwardly mobile. That's a key phrase from the 80s. On the surface, an upstanding pillar of the community, active in local politics, and a concerned citizen. A trusted businessman with an untarnished reputation for honesty and fair dealing. And he continues. A loving husband, a fair and compassionate father, the last person to be suspected of being a deep-cover Cobra agent. He will worm his way into the confidences of the mighty and work his way upward in the political machine to the Senate, and dare we hope, higher. His code name is Smith, and he is but the first. In his footsteps will follow legions. That's a pretty cool speech. Give Larry Hama 110 awesomeness credits on that. That was awesome. Now we got Destro sneaking aboard the whale with Firefly. He fights the guys. I'm going to skip through this because the Cobra speech took up some time here. So now they're fighting the whale. Look at this. Here's Destro using his wrist rockets like the toy had. That's awesome. Give your love a diamond from a comic book, and she'll never leave you. How much were these suckers back in the day? Holy crud! Who's gonna buy a $1,300 ring from a G.I. Joe comic? Military diamond sales. Now I see why they put it in here. Military. So here we go. They're still fighting on the whale. They defuse a bomb from, well, they get back to it. Defuse a bomb from Firefly. And that's about it. So we got one more here. I apologize if this is running too long. I hope you're all still entertained. But this is issue 30. And I always thought it was weird because his toy hair wasn't like this. But that's how it ended up being on the comic cover, and I don't know if it was a miscoloring or that they were just so new that no one really knew. Now, here they are just hanging outside of a military base. You're telling me no MPs would swing up on that? Like, what are all you dudes with Cobra tattoos and insignias doing here? But Zartan quickly turns into an officer there that they just let through. Here they're putting Wild Bill into an ambulance. What happened here? I must have missed something when I was flipping through. Here's Wild Bill. Slow down, boys. I ain't in no hurry to take a ride through Jersey in a meat wagon. Besides, I need to jaw a bit with the old man. Ah, because Zartan took the guise of Hawk. We lost another helicopter, Hawk. But there ain't nothing left of Cobra's Florida operation but a charred stretch of swamp. Well done, trooper, Zartan asks Hawk. Trooper? You'd think you didn't know your name, Wild Bill. Man's got a lot on his mind, as Doc ushers him away in the ambulance. And look at this. It's like they almost didn't know how to portray Zartan. Looks very robotic in that picture. It's weird. But they change their garage hideout into what looks like an old swamp shack. Oh, here we go. Fred, I'm assuming, Fred moving into the neighborhood with all of his armaments. Ah, the circus. A big part of the G.I. Joe comics was the Arbogo Brothers Circus. What do we got here? Billy. Here's Cobra Commander's son, Billy. Baroness and Major Blood get the drop on him there. But the circus was a big thing in the comics, and no figures of those. I would have loved, I think her name was Cindy, in a Bogo the Bear outfit. That would have been awesome. Heck, you could have gutted one of those. Maybe I'll do that as a custom. Gut one of those, 50-cent stuffed bears, take out the stuffing, and, make a custom female figure to go in that looks like her. That would be awesome. Saturday morning lineup ads. Man, I miss those. Let's see what was viewing back in 1984. On NBC, we had Kid Video, Mr. T, Snorks, Pink Panther and Sons, Going Bananas, which I don't remember, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, great cartoon, The Smurfs, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and 5 times during the morning your favorite NBC stars will give you one to grow one. It all begins September 15th on NBC, so let's all be there. Heck yeah, I was there. We got Cobra moving out. That's funny, they're moving in and the Dreadnoughts are moving out. Oh, Secret Wars ad. A toy line that could have been something. Great figures. I still love them. Oh, and here we go. Joe ain't messing around. A full motorcade coming in with Mobats and Rams. Ride, Dreadnoughts, ride! Let them go. Head in for the tower and interdict the main force. Here we go. We have a Fang. No. What were the little helicopters called? Oh, it's late. Sorry. Excuse me. Riding on up and boom! Blows up. Good shot, Clutch. Almost as good as the shot Steeler made that disintegrated one of those Hiss tanks. Must have happened while I was aiming. Here comes the other Hiss. Ooh. And it's Cobra Commander, and they knocked his helmet off. There he is, crawling around without his helmet. Frogger 2. Electric Boogaloo. How's that make sense? New Frogger 2. 3 deep. Huh? If it's 2, why is it 3? Anyway. Oh, I guess because there's 3 different levels you do nowadays. Anyway, this has been some of the Joe comics. I really do need to sit down one day and reread them all, because they were awesome. I mean, they gave us so much mythology as kids reading it. I mean, it was that and Special Missions were the only comics I subscribed to until I was older, and it blew me away month after month getting them in the mail. I mean, I couldn't wait to read them. They were a big part of my childhood. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at them. Sorry it got a little long-winded there. Anyway, keep being rad, stay dorky. This has been My Side of the Laundry Room. It came from My Side of the Laundry Room, to be more exact. And peace out. Catch you next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button for some more awesome videos. We also have a couple here on the side you might be interested in. And until next time, thanks for watching, keep being rad, and stay dorky.